It's
I
doing something.
think we are
I did it.
live. All right.
Yeah,
Okay. Hi Tuhin. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. Sree, how are you?
Yeah, good. Excellent. Thank you. Let me start the call by sharing the thing that we discussed yesterday, which is one of the things that you told me was before recording send across what all you're going to cover, and I did tell you no, maybe we should do it impromptu and let's see what happens. So, uh, very keen to know about your history, but specifically talk about how what is your relationship with structure, right? But we'll discover that a little bit. But before we get into that, maybe a bit of introduction, your journey, your beginning, where were you born, what are you doing now? That will be wonderful for the audience. Yeah.
Sure, Sree. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting to talk to you because as you begin, yeah, I'm fairly structured person, but this is realize this is a good opportunity for me to talk freely as well because I don't get an option a lot of times given my responsibilities to have a free conversation. Uh, okay, just to introduce myself, I'm Tuhin. Okay, a little bit on the professional side. I'm an engineering leader with close to 20 years of experience. Been a builder so far.
Mm.
Not a leader by chance, but by choice. Uh,
Okay.
and and I love building stuff, and I love kind of experimenting with new stuff. I'm fairly hands-on. Try to stay grounded. I love creating solutions where rubber meets the road, not on the air, not on the foam. And so far, I've been fairly good at that. I think I find fascinating working with people. So I'm a very
Mm-hmm.
structured in terms of people, process, and technology from a professional standpoint. And people comes first because
Yeah.
that's kind of pretty much determines what's going to happen with the process and the technology. Right? That's what I've
Yeah.
learned throughout my experience. And yeah, I'm fairly good at talking both to upstream and downstream. So I believe deeply in contextualization of conversation. In
Mm-hmm.
leadership,
Mm-hmm.
in leadership paradigm, everything is context. If you don't have the
Yeah.
context, you're absolutely off. So
Yeah.
again, as I'm still growing in my leadership journey, the more I think about it, more fascinated I become with the context. And on personal side, I'm blessed with a lovely family.
Mm-hmm.
My kind of upbringing, schooling have been in West Bengal, in Calcutta and suburbs, Aura.
Ah.
And again, very grounded upbringing. Very thankful to my parents for instilling all the values in me. I have a lovely sibling, and yeah, I think I'm probably one of the luckiest husband, if I can call it. Blessed with a lovely wife, and my son is my inspiration at the same time. So
Beautiful.
God's grace,
Beautiful.
God's grace, very happy on the personal front as well. And yeah, I am kind of settled in Bangalore now for the last close to 10 years. And again, I love this city. Just like everybody keeps complaining about stuff, I don't complain. Not that I don't know nagging, but every city, just like any human being, has some flaws, and you have to live with that. Either if you live with that or you try to improve it. That's how I see it. So I have faith in the leadership that they're doing stuff, good stuff. I've seen that. I'm optimistic. And
Beautiful.
one more thing I would add is I believe in pragmatic optimism. So not
Mm-hmm.
uh, just by pure motivation and stuff, because motivation don't get you far. It's about your
Mm-hmm.
consistency and uh, you know consistency and discipline that I believe in. And last but not the least, AI. People talk about AI. Yeah, I'm a AI practitioner. For me, AI is little different. The acronym stands for authenticity and intent. So as a leader, as a human
Ah.
being, these are the two things I bring into the table every time, because I mean, Sree, you are a senior leader, you know that. Your authenticity and intent is more understood by the people around you. So
Yeah.
better you understood it quickly, it's better for you. Yeah, so that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Beautiful. We have a great session coming up later today in 2 hours talking about AI and humans, and hope we can see you there and talk more about it. But going back to a bit more into your, I always believe who we are today is a combination of what happens in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, right? I picked up few things as you shared about your family, about your grounded parents grounding you well, and being structured person who you are. Walk us through what was you as a child, right? Like, were you uh, were you the one who was studious, listening to the teachers with intent in the first bench, or the restless in the back, throwing the chalk, or somewhere in the middle, figuring out your path? What was your childhood like? Like, what was your best memory as a school child?
Fantastic question, Sree. So yeah, I mean, given that I do a lot of self-awareness practice, especially as I've grown through my career, I have reflected a lot on my childhood as well, because a lot of what we do today, as you said, it lies back in your childhood, in your patterns that you see. Again, you'll keep seeing that I come back to patterns and structures and stuff like that, but that's not who I am. So I've kind of accepted it. So, Sree, to begin with, I would say I had a very blessed childhood to begin with. I had everything a child would need for what I call a fulfilling childhood. It was not on the bed of roses. There were challenges, just like most of the kids in our generation would have faced. One thing that I keep seeing even in my childhood was this pattern of resilience and keep coming back. So as I said, it was not bed of roses. I failed a lot of times. I was good in studies for sure, but I was not like top 5. And I used to, my results also used to fluctuate. And every time it did, I was also, I can clearly now establish a pattern. I did better in the next time because I could figure out what went wrong. Not necessarily all by myself. My parents were there, and they also taught me in the hard way. You understand what is that? At one point in time, I thought of becoming a professional cricketer because those were the eras of Dravid, Sachin, and Tendulkar. I was a pretty good cricketer as well, played for schools, college, and later professionally, semi-professionally as well. So that was kind of a distraction, but yeah, the reason I'm calling distraction, my dad had a very good conversation with me around class 10, standard 9th, and he kind of made me understand what life is. So either you choose that or this, and then I somehow chosen this study, and I'm happy that I chose this study because I don't think I would have made it to the top, because back then you didn't have those IPL or KPL stuff where even if you are not the best of the best, representing your state in the Ranji, you still have a good life. So that was not those kind of days. So either you have to be a Ranji player or it's not great for you. And schools. My school was, and I'm very fascinated about my school. So it was deeply spiritual. I'm a student of Swami Vivekananda Institution. It is one of the premier schools in our district, Howrah. And again, very blessed to be part of it. Prior to that, I think primary school was Kedarnath Institution, but I have more memories of my secondary school, that is Swami Vivekananda Institution. It used to be run by Sri Ramakrishna Belur Mutt. So I'm deeply spiritual from that angle because we used to have a lot of extra reads. I mean, back then we used to think about extra reads, but now I realize those are the extra reads that kind of build my character and our character rather. A lot of values were instilled back then. Had great teachers. Some of them are best, maybe. And like I told you, I have seen both. I have seen very good academics in some classes, not so good academic in some classes. Towards the later, I realized, the consistency is what I mean. These are all hard-learned lessons. Consistency is what will take you distance. Motivation can take you this far. So
Yeah.
That's a thing. I have been also blessed to be, growing up in a neighborhood. My mom used to be a central government servant, so we were in those central government quarters. And the best
Ah.
part about that is you get to see a flavor of India in that. Because trust me, I had a childhood where I celebrated the festivals of pretty much all religion because we had friends. Then I knew how South Indian food tastes like, even though we were in Kolkata, because I used to go to my friend's house, get those uttapams and dosas very early in my life because of my friends. I would know how a typical North Indian breakfast would look like because I had tons of great friends from UP, Bihar, or even Haryana. All are essentially they're all my mom's colleagues, son or daughters that I would be growing up with. So those again, as I reflect back, Sree, it helped me a lot in loving people in the way they are and accepting them, accepting their culture, and it helped me a great deal in professional life as well. Later, I realized because that's what helped me to talk to people, different persona, accept them, and still figure out a way that how can I bring the best out of them by working through that or just having the conversation, connecting beyond work, if I may call it. So yeah, I think that's my childhood, and yeah, college was a different ballgame. So I did everything in my
Tell
college.
me more.
Yeah, college was when like I think my whole persona got literally reshaped, and I still have very good college friends who I keep talking to even after like 20 plus years, 25 years. And we did everything. We did, we were fairly good in sports. I think I was fairly good in studies, not topper as such. So I was consistent of not being a topper though. So, but I did fairly well. But by the way, those toppers I'm talking about, they are very good. It was very difficult to be like that even today. So, and
Can
the
I
thing that go ahead,
stop you there for a second? So again, sorry to interrupt your flow on this particular one. So many times in a country like India, a topper is someone who has extremely high memory, not extremely high intelligence. I tend to look at intelligence different to memory, right? And I have no disrespect for the toppers, right? So, but sometimes it also creates a bit of an imposter syndrome, right? Oh, look at that. I'm not in that top league, right? Did that cross your mind when you were reflecting your own life, or did that bother you? Like, how did you come in terms with? Like, I personally, I at this point, I'm like, yeah, if that works well for you, great for you. If it works well for me, this is great for me, right? I've stopped having that comparison, so to speak, because comparison actually pulls you down, right? In that sense. So I'm just curious to know. You touched upon this point a couple times. What does that mean to you? Like being in the top.
again, fantastic question, and it's a very deep one. So I think how I would be seeing that when I was in college versus how I see now is completely changed, right? As you said. And I completely agree to your point that intelligence and memory is not the same thing. And that's where I keep telling to my son as well, again, not to that much because he's pretty young, still has to use his brain in a different way than I do. I do see my brain as more of a compute than a storage. So all the computation should happen here, not the storage part. For storage, you have other devices, like you can have your computer, you have all the LLMs. They probably know more than you, and you can use them. Now, coming back to specific questions, Sree, what I have learned over the years, I have been at peace living with this imposter syndrome. It was not easy. I had to learn it. And I understand, and this is for everybody, imposter syndrome is good. It just goes to show that you care for certain things. And it is part of your growth. The more you will be growing, the more you'll be stressed. Imposter syndromes are going to come back. And it's a framing of mind, to be honest. Like today, if I talk to a CEO, or if I have talked to a lot of CEOs, in fact, uh, if you tell me that I do this probably 20 years back, things would have been very different. I would have approached it in a very different way. I would have a lot of judgments running in me, and I do those positive mindfulness where I know those saboteurs that are at play when you are having that conversation, right? So now I clearly again structure those saboteurs. I know how to handle them. You have imposter syndrome. You'll have your judgment saboteur coming in telling you're not good enough. So how to go through that? Now, couple of things. One is the processing part. We shall come to that later. But one is the root evidence, and that's where this structure comes from. So even at my college, I knew I am good at certain things which even those folks who probably get more marks are not good at. And that came with data. Again, I am articulating it in a different way right now. Probably back as a early 20s, I probably wouldn't have kind of articulated like this. But data-wise, I had some unique nicheness which I still carry into any room that I'm taking, right? And over the years, the conviction has only grown into those specific areas. And that has told me that I'm no less than anyone in the room. And at times, probably, again, not boasting, but maybe better than them at areas.
Absolutely.
Right? So that has been the transformation from my early stage to now. And also in my college days, one thing I figured out was we used to have a lot of student groups. And I used to be leading quite a few of them, though there was no formal structure as such, like elect a leader or something. So somehow I was in the front. And we had a group of people who used to lead the whole pack. And we did a lot of things which, we in fact went for student strikes and whatnot, right? We did all of that. And I'm very thankful to my professors, still dead. And they are all like fatherly figures to me. They are so like, they tolerated us more than us, they nourished us, because we were very naughty bunch of folks at college. And but coming back to the processing part, as I said, Sree, over the years, this is probably a deeper self-realization. I see certain patterns, as I said you earlier. It's like keep bouncing back. I may think, and this is where my own philosophy is, I see myself as a cork. You know what cork is? The cork ball or something. So one of the properties of the cork is, if you push a cork down, you take a bottle of water. If you push a cork down, you can't put it down. What happens when you leave it? It just bounces back up. So that's the kind of mindset I have. If I'm not saying I'm not going to be caught up by what's going around me, or I don't feel anything. I do absorb this. I might feel a little bit, but I know for sure I have my own ways, mechanics to come back at the same time.
Beautiful. So I know it's a recorded call, but I'm keen to see your. I did catch the naughty smile when you said about your college days. When you see your child, or when your teammates do all those naughty things, do you remember yourself of, I was also like this, it shall also pass? Or how do you see when others are doing the same naughtiness as you are doing today? Do you pardon them? Or you're like, okay, that's fine.
Absolutely. I mean, I won't even get to the word of pardoning on that. That still have a bit of a judgment on it. I just say that it's okay. So I'm a little more tolerant than what I should be. But given that I have seen it all, I tend to take it as it comes. And I say, it's fine. I mean, college kid, what do you expect out of them? If a college kid doesn't enjoy, if he doesn't do something out of the world, when will he do that? Because after that, he will be put through this grill that we all have been through. And you will be just told, this is your path, this is what you're supposed to do. A minuscule of them will break out of that, become the next best entrepreneurs. That's fine. That's just a minuscule. But hey, college days are the days where you should do as much experimentation with everything possible. And I'm very tolerant. And in fact, I've been same with my young grads who join my team. They do a lot of stuff, and I have my leads. Sometimes they will be little kind of they would become the staff manager. I said, don't do that. I mean, he or she is bringing new energy, accept it.
Yeah.
If it is falling out of the place, there is a way to tell that. And
Yeah.
without demeaning, you just say, this doesn't work because of so and so reason. Keep coaching. And the person will automatically pick up. We all have been through this. Let's not forget that we were freshers one day when we entered this industry, right? So that's how kind of I see it. It is fascinating. College days are fascinating. I always
beautiful.
say.
If you already said about your passion, if not engineering, you would have been a sports person, right? Is that purely because of if sports had equal amount of money and opportunity, is that still where your heart is?
I would be very honest. I don't think when I had that dilemma in mind whether I want to become a cricketer or want to do studies, money was the determining factor at all. It was just that I want to do it because I was good at it. And there is no joy. I mean, I'm just giving a very, like, where the money doesn't come into the picture. Say, for instance, I used to play cricket pretty regularly even in Bangalore just a few years back. I mean, now a lot of commitments have come in. So, and cricket is a game where it takes a lot of time. You just can't go and start playing in the field. You have to do practices. So at least on a week, you need to spend 10 to 12 hours playing a match and then do those practices. And I used to be a opening batsman, very, very dominant one. My physique versus my game is completely different. I got that as a backhanded compliment also from people, especially my opponent, that sir, आपको देख के नहीं लगता कि आप इतने aggressive हैं. So
yeah, like a mini Krishnamachari Srikant, I would imagine, on the field.
Yeah. So a lot of compliments I got. Like I used to play like Sehwag at some point in time without worrying about it and keep hitting the ball. And again, this is another little bit of boasting. For my last few years when I was playing cricket here, there is no joy, Sree, than a young 20-year-old good fast bowler in the standard of KPL getting hit for a 4 or 6 and trying to sledge you, but somehow because of his upbringing, he's stopping it. But he's furious on you that how can this guy with this white hair is hitting? I used to enjoy every bit of it. I was like, "Kuch bolna hai?" I used to literally laugh. I was like, no, sir. Sometimes they used to tease me saying, uncle aage batting karne. But when I was leaving the ground, and this is what great game teaches you, that how to respect your opponents, right? Even when I was playing those small stints of not much, like maybe 20, 30, 40 odd runs innings, when I used to go out of the ground, I used to remember a lot of those kids will come, kids as in young 20 or young late 20 guys, and shake hands with me, even though they're in the opponent. Sir, well played. So those are the things I remember. Now coming back to your specific question, so money is not something which I'll be honest, even today, I mean, I'll not be dishonest saying I don't need money. I need money. I have a family to take care of, but that's not what I'm chasing. What I'm chasing is my inner fulfillment and my goals, and I know that will automatically take care of the money part as well. So far, so good. It has been right that.
Fingers crossed.
In future also, I intend to do so in future, maybe in a different way, given I'm a very inflection point right now, which I'll talk to you in a while. So that's it. So yeah, if not engineer, probably trying to be a good cricketer. And if not a cricketer, I would have also been, might be a good zoologist. This is another twist. So during my, I think 12th, right? There was a conversation between whether I want to do geological studies or become an engineer, because I was very good at geology as well, contrary to the most of the engineering students. So that was another option. So I could have become maybe, I don't know, professor, if not maybe something of that sort. So multiple options, Sree.
Beautiful.
But I'm happy what I am today.
Yeah, beautiful. No, what a story, what a journey. What does structure mean to you, and what does non-structure does to you?
Okay. So first of all, both these terms are very subjective, structure and non-structure. And if you try to see a lexical definition, you'll get one. But if you come to the ground, that's not what it is. it is very perception driven. I know I'm being little philosophical, but I'll come to your specific answer, obviously.
Yeah.
Why I want to say that is, again, from my professional experience, the things that look like a structure might look like a chaos to somebody. And it's all perception driven, and it it depends on your upbringing, how you see it, how's your persona, psyche, which part of the world you're from, right? Okay, let me talk about, since I'm an Indian, we are like born, what should I say? We are born with this jugaad mind, right? So we know how to make unstructured things structured, or even if I go to I mean, since I'm a Bengali, I can't talk anything other than fish. So I have to bring in that. So if I go to a fish market, I still see a rhythm in the fish market. Fish market, by even in Bengali terms, it is actually used to represent chaos. Like, you have made a fish market out of this. But even in a fish market, if I go, so my last visit was during my sister's marriage, when me and my dad went to get tons of fishes for the ceremony. Trust me, Sree, I learned so many patterns on that day just by following people in the fish market. The guy who is weighing the fish, the guy who is stacking it up, the guy who is cutting the fish, and cutting the fish can become an art. That's that day I learned that.
Yeah.
That within 2 minutes, how can you cut down a 10-kilo fish? Precisely. Every piece has a weight and a range. Those things, and I try to learn it because I have run in my career. I have learned large programs. I have done very research-oriented projects. So that always brings in a lot of unstructured chaos, and I believe chaos is the best ingredient for innovation. If you know how to filter chaos, if you know the art of knowing a rhythm within a chaos, you're halfway through the innovation. And then the constraints, right? One of the other thing is, unless you have constraints, you probably will not be very good innovator. Most of the innovation that's what it is. Coming to your specific questions now. I love structure because it brings clarity. It brings predictability, and it brings consistency. And consistency would require you to be disciplined. Having said that, my job as a leader, essentially, I see, is the transition from a chaos to structure. Once it is structured, it can be done by any person because it's too well defined. How do you find an unstructured thing and get that to structure is where the rubber meets the road. And that's where you need a mind which is calm, composed, have the right kind of exposure, and fully attentive and being completely in the moment to even understand the subtle cues that is happening. Trust me, I don't essentially think there is anything called unstructured as such. What we call as unstructured is also a structure. It is just that we are not formally able to fit it into some bucket that we know, right? So I'm perfectly fine dealing with unstructured, but just that unstructured things have its own demerits, which outweighs the merits. So it's better we come towards the structure. But in this VUCA world, if I as a leader say I am uncomfortable with unstructured, then I'm not setting myself for success or leading from the front, as I call it.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
So what I'm hearing is structure allows you to bring that clarity, which allows the scale to happen. And because you love scale, that's why your love for structure comes naturally. I'm just rewinding a little bit about the cricket analogy and your career journey and whatnot. And it just came alive to me just now that if you think about, I was once watching Rahul Dravid. I'm part of a foundation called Go Sports Foundation. So he had come to address and meet some of us. And it just occurred to me that isn't it wonderful that in sports that people start in the past, like during Gavaskar and others' time, they would have started at 10, would have played from 10, practiced and joined under 19, then would have gone to state level, Ranji, whatever, right? Whatever the career progression. And then by 35, they retire. And they have a second innings as a coach after 40, right? Then they go as a coach until 60 or until they decide to say bye, right? They stop playing, right? And I'm connecting back to what you said in the start of the call, that you're a builder and you still like to build. When do you stop? When should we stop, right? Because, I mean, you can continue to build till you die, right? Or till you say, I don't want to be building, right? And in our career, there's no structured career path either, right? Everyone has a very, very, very different path. Some company will appreciate being a builder. Some company will appreciate being a strategist. Some company will be a combination of both, right? I remember like starting my career mostly using Python and Bash prompting and all that. And today, I was looking at Claude Coworks and it's pretty much doing Python and Bash and whatever I hated, said quotations and grep quotations and advanced comments. It's happily doing it in Coworks and getting the job done. And I'm back being a builder, but sometimes wonder is should be as a conscious leader should be pause, because being a builder means you're not letting other being a builder, right? Not at this point we should be supporting more people to build, right, rather than rebuilding, right? That's when the scale actually comes, right? So it's just a philosophical question, right? Is there a time where we say stop being a builder, let others do the build while you be a coach, like a cricket analogy, right? Anything evokes in you when I share this?
Yeah, I mean, quite a few things. First of all, again, I'm a big Rahul Dravid fan. I think there's no better example of discipline, consistency, and resilience than Rahul is, and the way he used to carry himself. I know I'm diverting a bit from your question. I'll come back to that. But just one, I don't know if you have heard of this quote from Matthew Hayden, when he said that if you want to see aggression, look into Rahul Dravid's eyes. So Rahul was never a very flamboyant character, but it's coming from one of the top Australian cricketer that if you want to look aggression, look into his eyes. That's the kind of depth he used to carry into the ground. Now coming to this question. So I think you're on mute. I'm not able to hear you, Sree.
Sorry. I was just saying on a separate note, I had a chance to spend time with both of them a little bit. Awesome. Both Hayden and Dravid, which I'll tell you later when I meet you, where I met them. Awesome. And amazing cricketers, like wonderful people with, and that's exactly when I met them is when this thought came to me. Isn't it amazing that they were once a builder, a player, a contributor, and then they stepped back and said, you know what, my job is now to coach others. And I'm like, wait a second, why are we not doing this in our world? Why would we keep doing things? And my invocation came from actually meeting Hayden and Dravid, right? Awesome. But go on. Yeah.
So now coming specifically to your question, I think this builder mindset, I'll mix two or three things here from the specifics that you mentioned. And all of them, and first of all, I'm in fairly good agreement with what you said. But I want to frame it differently. Okay. Three things you mentioned: builder, we talked about pause, and I talked about context. And that's the reason I keep saying context. I personally believe I'll remain a builder for my life. The context will change. Today, I might be building something very hands-on, something from the front. Tomorrow, I remain a builder, but I build more leaders, or I build institutions, or I become an enabler. Still, I'm building something. In between these transitions, it is important that you have a pause. Otherwise, the momentum will keep leaking into the other. And these contexts, this is what, like, again, I'm talking in terms of AI, right? So you cannot leave the context out of it. So you have your context, you have your builder persona. Your builder persona to that context is different. Between two contexts, you have this pause. That's mandatory. Otherwise, it will just seeping from one to other, and you will fail as to influence properly. So just to take a cue, I mean, Rahul, since you talked about Rahul Dravid, I mean, one of my idols, maybe. I used to, in fact, imitate his batting stance, by the way.
Oh, beautiful.
So yeah, because if you just hold the bat like him and stand like him, trust me, your offside play and leg side play actually improves automatically. I've seen that. That's why he was such an all-round greatest, probably one of the greatest batsmen. But anyway, coming back to that, Rahul Dravid was the top, if not the top, one of the top performers in his era as an active cricketer. He was building something. Now see what he has built as a coach. He has built some of the top talents that are now in the field. And as I know now, you would probably know more than me since you have connection with him. I'm pretty sure after building something else that will build the next generation of leaders. Essentially, doesn't have to be in the sports field. He can actually spread his wings into other parts as well. Because professional sports, two things which I personally believe, Sree. By the way, at one point in time, I didn't told you this. So one point in time, all I wanted to be was join armed forces and become a short service commission officer. I was not good enough.
Oh, beautiful.
I failed in the psychometric test. I failed. I think now I don't know if probably I'll still fail if I go.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'll have to correct one word. I just don't. I won't say I wasn't good enough. Maybe you didn't qualify, right? Because you're more than good enough, right? You didn't qualify for the metrics.
Okay, I think I'll not take that. I think those leaders are way above what we do on a day-to-day basis. Okay. But anyway, I'll take your compliment. Thanks for that. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. And the reason I'm saying this is armed forces and active sports, professional sports. There cannot be better leadership stories than these two fields, where you have to perform as a leader from the front, and there is no theories that you can apply. That okay, I can give you a 60-minute lecture. You look at how armed forces operate. Most of the time, of course, there is a strategic part to it, but on the ground, even the colonels, they go and charge take charge as very risky situation. They go first, then their troops come. That's the kind of standard they follow. Same way, if you go to professional sports, you have to perform on the ground or maybe off it if you're a coach, but you have to do it there. So theories, lessons, PPTs, they take a backseat, right? And that's why I love to learn from those leaders who are from those kind of backgrounds, because they have done it to themselves multiple times. And the stakes are very high most of the time, right? It's a big game you're playing, or it's some battlefield, right? So there's a big stake. So that's how I kind of look at it, Sree. A lot of my persona have gone through that.
Beautiful. I mean, this is amazing. I do have one like a related question. So I do get attracted to these army stories. So there is this Joko podcast, right, which is extreme ownership, and so I'm a big fan of that. I kind of like that story. I keep reading. About, oh yeah, extreme ownership. Yeah, so I keep looking at it. But I'm going back to what you just said about contextual intelligence or contextual presence when you take decisions, right? I wonder, is it even relevant in the world of software, right? Like the reason I'm coming from is I do know a lot of these Army, Navy people, there's some of them in my family too. They sometimes end up being very stiff in life, right? Of course, they have party and whatnot, but they take work very seriously, right? And I wonder for someone like us who are not in the field, we're pretty much stuck into computer screens, right? We don't interact with human, right? We don't interact with human lives. We don't interact with humans. We're pretty much behind the computer screens. I sometimes wonder, is sporting analogy, is the army analogy, the intensity, is that relevant? Like, are we of the same material? Contextually, aren't we not different? Should we not have different set of inspirations and yardstick for people in our industry, right? I mean, I also take inspiration like you, but I'm sitting and wondering, are we doing this right?
Well, I think first of all, a great inflection point. Context is what, again, I'll bank to that. You need to contextualize. See, what an army general does or a major does, what a professional, say, cricketer does, you can't copy in detail to, say, the world of software engineering or corporate, right? Because the constructs are different here. That makes the context very different. but certain principles stays the same. Say, for instance, what stays the same is your character. It's your truthfulness. Is your willingness to take chances. Is your willingness to take chances in others, say, for instance, right? Those are the things that will not change, even if you go back. And taking this from the, say, armed forces, I'm pretty sure since you follow Joko. So one of the things that Navy SEALs does is they look at the team player mindset. If you are part of the team, you might be damn good, even better than most of the people in the team. But if you are not somebody they can trust at a high stake situation, they won't make you part of the team. And that's pretty much happens sometimes in our corporate world as well, where we, especially in the senior positions, trust matter more than your capability. You might be well skilled, but if I don't trust you, that doesn't matter at the same time.
Yeah.
So those are the things I bring back. Similar things in cricket. Well, it's about the brand. Rahul Dravid used to be, say, for instance, bringing back Rahul Dravid. Rahul captained India. Rahul played as an individual player as well. What stayed is Rahul Dravid, the brand. As Indian cricket, I mean, he served Indian cricket. Similarly, me, we all have been through ups and downs in our careers. What stay at the end of the day is you as a brand, what you do as a brand. And those are the things, those are the contexts I try to derive from these different worlds, if I may say.
Beautiful. I do remember your point where you said about inflection point. Very curious and eager to now hear more. Are you setting up Tuhin University to start setting up the next generation leaders? What's cooking up?
Yeah, I mean, a lot is cooking up. So to begin with, I will take this opportunity. So given that all that you are seeing, again, I'm very thankful that even I got focused in a lot of other places. The last few months, couple of kind of professional events occurred, which I didn't disclose to a lot of people for, of course, reason, because I didn't want to process it that way. Right? So there are a lot of restructuring that went on in my organization, and I was on the wrong side of the restructuring, so I got impacted. It was, again, as a conscious leader, I knew maybe something like this might come. I was somewhat prepared, but not fully prepared, because only when you go through it, you understand how good the preparation is, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing I'm going through. But how I not get into too much of details for professional confidentiality, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, it was not easy to process it. All those saboteurs, especially your stickler and your victim saboteur, keeps coming back saying, "Why me?" and those kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I understand what happens for the good. I mean, this is what I've believed throughout my life, and I keep believing it. It's not easy processing it. And how I saw that was, this is a great starting point again, like a reset. And that's exactly how I'm going to frame it as an inflection point. And this is where I'm seeing like the universe is helping me by sending the right kind of people. I'm just going to take a few names with your permission. So say, for instance, I have my coach, Mr. Dilip Kumar Sulasa, right? I have been working with him for last 8 or 9 months. What he has done to me is amazing. He has gifted me a very structured framework, and through that framework, a mindset of resilience, where I know my true North Star is. And these things, I think I was reading somewhere that these are all like temporary placeholders or containers, which we sometimes get too attached to. And this is where like another saboteur I might name is a hyperachiever saboteur, where you tend to tag your own identity to some external achievement which essentially not in your full control.
Yeah.
And the moment that goes away, you think you are worthless, and that is very wrong way of putting your worth.
Yeah.
So had it not been him in the right time, I'm pretty sure I would have had a very difficult time processing it. The other person I have to take a name is Prashant Mudaliar. He has been my kind of a career strategist and positioning strategist, if I may say. He's the one who helps me sometimes you need to go to those experts to really understand what you are good at. It's very funny, right? And they give you the right kind of signals. And once you start believing, you start repositioning yourself. I did the same. The fact that
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, the fact that you just told me, which I took it as a compliment, that when you want to start a university, all of this actually came into the conversation. That
Yeah.
these are the potential things you should think about, given that you have a chance now. And I'm seeing this as a chance, trust me, more than a disruption or anything. The other person, I have to talk about Sunil Raulani. He has been a phenomenal. I mean, he spent, I think one day he called and he kind of stayed with me for 3 hours. We talked about everything in depth.
Wow.
And again, you know Sunil as good as I know. So
Yeah.
great conversation. And all I could understand was he was not trying to tell me that it's all going to be great, it's going to be okay, you are too good and all that. All he was trying to do is he was trying to tell me that accept what it is, live with what it is, and don't question yourself on why you got impacted or those kind of stuff. And all his
Yeah.
wisdoms. So someone
Yeah.
taking 3 hours out of his calendar just to talk, it's a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
last but not the least, my financial advisor, like Shivaji and Malhar, and they are, again, they have create, I mean, whatever we say and do, Sree, at the end of the day, money matters, right?
Yeah.
So this is another thing which I'm actually working towards. And in your podcast, I want to share, this is one
Yeah.
commitment that I have done to myself. I'm trying to kind of write a book, probably at some point in time with my coach, because I do see this career disruptions are going to are bound to happen, no matter how good you are in your craft, no matter how good you position yourself, no matter whatever it is. Some of these are extremely algorithmic, as I call it, uh, completely data driven. So the only thing that stays with you is you. So unless
Yeah.
you work on yourself, and that tells about your positioning, your branding, your finances.
Yeah.
Luckily, cross the fingers, I did all of that. And my financial advisors put me into a great shape. That's when
Yeah.
those things are not coming to my mind. So, like
Beautiful.
I said, this I am taking this as a cornerstone, as a stepping stone, as a great opportunity. Trust me,
Yeah.
Sree, I'm talking to so many different kind of people as part of my, say, job search or whatever. Talking to founders. The thing that I'm taking away from every conversation is the diversity, is the experience, and how people so subtly think differently, even though they're trying to solve the same problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do
Yeah.
I position myself into that? Even today morning, I had a conversation with one of the founders. So he was kind of offering me if I want to become a co-founder with him and stuff like that, which I'm still contemplating. But the fact is, having this curious and open mind helps me to navigate it. And that is the thing that I'm trying to capture in my maybe upcoming book. Hopefully, cross my fingers, will come out sometime. And I'm doing it as I grow. I these days I do everything to kind of as a give back. I want to contribute back to whatever, because I think I'm very blessed. I had a
Beautiful.
very good career. I will have a good career as well. As I said, I'm a builder. I'm not going to stop building. The thing is, it
Yeah.
might change the context as I give you the framework before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to give back and tell people that there is a lot to life. I mean, sometimes we tend to put such a myopic view, and society sometimes pushes us to put such a myopic view. We tend to miss there are so many big things that we can do, and so much of potential each and every individual has. Just
Yeah.
that the realization is what is missing. So this is the
Yeah.
inflection point I was sharing with you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity to share this.
Yeah. No, but I think thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing this with a lot of care for yourself. And I'm definitely feeling there is a part two in a couple quarters to you know to hear from you back again on how that inflection point was, and then how was crossing the chasm look like for you. Wishing you all the very best, right? I felt like I know you a lot more than just a name now, right? Your journey, your school, your love for cricket, your love for being a builder, love for constantly building not just tech solutions, but building people, systems, companies. What an amazing journey, and very blessed to know your journey. Any closing thoughts for the listeners from your side?
Again, I think the most important closing thoughts, if I may say, is the best thing you can do. I mean, I know a lot of people who are going through a lot of anxious moments, mainly because of the macroeconomic situations. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to take care of yourself. This is what I would end it with. Because
Amazing.
if you are a provider, I know there are a lot of single providers in India as well.
Yeah.
If you are a provider, trust me, there is no better solution, however naive it looked like, to take care of yourself. Because only if you are good, then you can take care of others. And the best investment is always the investment on yourself. So
Beautiful.
This is all I'll end with.
Beautiful.
And thanks again for this wonderful conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, Tuhin. We'll be in touch shortly.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate the time. Yeah. Cheers.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.